Serving their community is who they are because they love where they live. REMAX 3D Real Estate is proud to bring you Heart of Greenville, a video series dedicated to celebrating all the wonderfully great things about Greenville, Texas. On every episode, Dennisha Denny will share Greenville's story through the stories of people who call Greenville home. This is Heart of Greenville.
Thank you so much for watching Heart of Greenville. Our show would not be possible without our sponsors, so I want to give a quick shout out to REMAX 3D Real Estate, who serves our community for all of your real estate needs, and to Triton Networks, who's here for all of our business solutions. They're a one-stop shop for all of your communication needs. Our guest today is Mr. David Claybourn. He's with the Herald-Banner, and he's our local sports editor. He has so many great stories. I can't wait for you to hear them. Here's my conversation with David. Hey y'all, I'm Dennisha Denny, your host of Heart of Greenville, and today we're sitting down on the third floor at the landmark on Lee Street at the Landing. And my guest today is Mr. David Claybourn. Hey today, David.
You got my last name right. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It only took a couple of tries, but we finally got it. So you're the editor of the Herald-Banner for the sports edition. Do you want to say the actual name? Because I totally messed that up too.
Sports editor.
There you go.
Yeah.
I put a whole lot of words together to say sports editor.
I said it in basic terminology.
Yes, you did. I am so honored to have you here. It's been a pleasure. I know through the Greenville Christian School season this last year, we were texting and keeping informed with what was going on. And I've kind of gotten to know you through that. And you know so many stories and stats about our community related to sports, but just stories. And so I'm so honored that you agreed to sit down because I know you're used to being behind the scenes and writing your words and not always speaking them. So thank you for sitting down with me today.
I'm also behind the camera and do a little bit of filming. I literally am behind the scenes.
That's true. That's true. And your photography is incredible. I've seen some of your pictures. I've seen a lot of them all of these years. So share with everyone, how long have you been in this position?
I've been actually a sports writer since 1972.
Really?
I started with the school paper. I went to Gregory Portland High School, and it was called the Cat's Print. And I learned from a man named Keith Guthrie. He was the sponsor, and he wrote for various publications, including the Portland News.
Really?
So I've been doing this since 1972. Then I went to the Del Mar College and wrote for the Foghorn. Then I went to Texas State. Then Southwest Texas State, wrote for the University Star.
Really?
And then I started at the Bowie News in 78 and came to Greenville in 79, and I've been here ever since, going on 43 years plus.
That is incredible. So what inspired you to do that back in 1972?
This is something in the 7th grade we had to research. What do you want to be in life? I picked newspaper reporter.
Really?
And this is something I've always wanted to do. Kind of handed down. My mother, Thelma Ruth, she wrote for the Mission Times before she got married and was actually one of the first sports writers in state history.
Really?
And back then, they wouldn't allow women in the press box.
I was going to say, how did that work out with her being a woman?
She had to wait for them to come out of the press box to talk to them. She said they were very helpful.
Were they? So, and that was in what year, did you say?
Oh, that would have been in about 1953.
Wow. So did that inspire you then to want to do that?
That inspired me, and my father was he's 95 now. He was an engineer with Mobil Oil, but he loved sports, and we would go to track meets and football games, and I got a love for sports from him, and I think I got the writing craft was handed down from my mother. Plus, my two grandfathers were both telegraph operators for the railroad. And that's why I have really good typing speed.
You inherited that, right?
I inherited that, but when I hear those ... I can't tell you what they're saying.
How funny. What was it like to know for your mom, for you to be a kid and for that to be your mom's job? Like, what was that like?
Well, by the time I came around, she had moved on. She had been a school teacher.
Okay.
And then she became a full-time mom because she had 4 children to raise.
Okay. Okay.
I have 3 sisters, and something we're all proud of. We all graduated from college. 2 of them went to Texas Tech. 1 went to TCU.
Oh, awesome.
What's fun is when I sit at a Texas Tech TCU game and I sit in between them, And I go, yay, when the Horned Frogs score, yay, when the Red Raiders score. Well, somebody's not happy with me because I went yay for the other team.
That puts you in a really tough spot, David.
But I just enjoy watching a good game. I don't care. I don't have a dog in the hunt, so I don't care which team wins.
Now, did you play sports when you were in school?
I did a little bit. I dabbled in it. I ran summer track. I played Little League baseball. When I was older, I ran 5Ks. I ran on the junior high track team. Unfortunately, there were 12 of us competing for 3 spots one time, and I finished about 6th or 7th. But the guy that beat me, he ended up winning state.
Really?
George Garza, so I didn't feel so bad. I couldn't beat him, and nobody else could either.
I love it. And then you kept that running streak going, though, right? You
I ran off and on, but I really got the running bug when I was, I'm giving my age away here. When I was in my 40s, I got the running bug, and I ran all the time. And I would do workouts at the track. It's now Cotton Ford Stadium with all the stands. It didn't have all those stands back then.
Right. No, it didn't.
I would finish work and then drive my car over there and run. And I ran different workouts. I would run for distance, and sometimes I would do sprints. I did interval training.
Wow.
I really took it seriously.
And you did that in your 40s, which is kind of where I am. And I'm like, why didn't I start running before now? Why did I wait till I was in my 40s?
That seems to be something I've noticed that, 20-somethings play a lot of golf, and then they get married, and then they have kids, or they do running, like we said. And there's a 10, 15-year period where they don't do a lot of sports activity because they're involved with their kids.
Oh, their kids are doing that.
Then you get empty nesters and decide, I'm going to go back and do what I like to do.
Maybe that's exactly what it is. You have a little bit more time, so you can go and do that.
I'm impressed that you make the time to run. What is your running streak right now?
So I started on, I think it was February the 7th of last year. So this next February 7th will be my first full year of my running streak. So I run at least 1 mile every single day.
Every single day. See,
Every
that's
single day.
impressive to me.
I love it, though. I mean, I look forward to it. So it's not a problem. I started right before Snowmageddon, not knowing Snowmageddon was coming.
Oh,
and
boy.
so now I'm like, okay, you ran in the ice and the snow. You have zero excuses to not go run.
Did you have trouble keeping your feet in the ice and snow?
So, okay, this show's about you. I'm going to tell you this story, and then we're switching back to you. I ran in my Ugg boots that I bought to go to New York City in to walk in the snow, and I would run in those because they had the grip, and I would run around our pasture in the snow in the back. So it worked out. I did it. I only fell one time and popped right back up, and nobody saw it, so it didn't count.
Didn't count.
It didn't count. But no, I did. I started that run, and it's changed me, just by being healthier and wanting to have a more fit life, and I enjoy it. So it's something that I'm thankful I picked back up. So anyway, back to you. So when you came here, was it 1978, 79? 79. How did you get to Greenville?
My sister Susan, one of the Texas Tech people, was working at the Herald-Banner, working with Carol Ferguson in the Life Today. And they were looking to make a change in the sports department. And she said, well, my brother writes sports. Why don't you contact him? And I heard from, I think Kip Kearns was the managing editor, and I came for an interview, and they liked me, and I left the Bowie News. I liked working at Bowie, but they had me doing everything. And I mean everything. And I wanted to focus on sports because that's my love.
Right.
And I got to do that when I came here. I still do a lot of things.
Right.
But really enjoy sports. I enjoy writing. I enjoy the photography a whole lot.
So, I mean, you've been here a long time. What has kept you here? You could write for anywhere in the world, and you choose to be here in Greenville, Texas.
A lot of it, I like the proximity to Dallas. Everything fun to do or that you need to do is an hour and a half away. My family is not far away, but I've had a lot of artistic freedom, and that's big to me. I pretty much decide what I'm going to do and set my own hours. I set my hours around the work schedule, and it's a lot of freedom, and that keeps it fun for me.
That's great that you have that freedom, which makes sense being a sports editor, though, because like during playoffs, you're up all hours of the night waiting to see who won, and you had to get all those stats to be able to publish those.
It's a lot of fun. The most enjoyable moments for me are at the ball games.
I bet.
There's some minutia in the job. Everybody has that, but I'm really enjoying myself watching the games, watching the Eagles, watching the Lions, the Blue Devils. I watched the Celeste Blue Devils last week. I've watched the Foxes, the Panthers, you name it, the Wolves. I enjoy. And A&M Commerce, I was at their last game in the Lone Star Conference last week. It was a very, very sentimental moment for me.
I bet. Let's talk about that for a minute. I know you and I were messaging about that.
Well, you got to. I wonder what it's like for you when you walk in the stadium and you see the name Ernest Hawkins up there.
I just get a lump in my throat. It's so special to our family.
Ernest was the head coach when I came here.
Yes.
In Greenville, and the quarterback was Wade Wilson. Wade ended up playing 19 years in the NFL. I was spoiled on quarterbacks. Wade was so talented, and he was genuinely friendly. I would run around with him a little bit socially, and I was a big Wade Wilson fan. Even went to New Orleans to see him play against the Niners. When he led them on a big victory, and it was the front page news in New Orleans, Picayune Times the next day, the kick, because Morton Anderson made this field goal to win the game, but Wade Wilson's the one that got him there. But Ernest was the head coach, and what I liked is he let Wade Wilson call his own plays, which was, they don't do that very much.
Right.
And he said, well, Wade can see the field better than I can.
Oh, wow. Then that had to empower Wade. To know your coach trusts you and believes in you.
But the deal about Coach Hawkins, he was throwing the football, and his offenses were diversified when a lot of the college teams in Texas were run. He threw the ball, but he's a former quarterback. Quarterback that, here we go, Texas Tech again.
Yes.
And he had the school record for a long time, longest pass completion, 90 yards.
He was an incredible man. We miss him dearly.
And he was so proud of Alan.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Alan Hawkins is one of the best golfers around here. If he wasn't a full-time law enforcement officer, he could make some money on a pro tour. He's that good a golfer, and he's such a competitor.
Oh, he is. But he's kind of like that silent competitor. He's not in your face.
He doesn't mouth a lot.
He's very humble, yes.
Alan lets his golf do the talking rather than his mouth, and he's smart that way.
He does. I think he got that honestly, too. It runs in the family.
Well, Coach Hawkins was not a big talker.
Right, no.
And, I would interview him, and he was very humble and quiet, wasn't a bragger, any of that stuff. And Ray is one of the nicest guys, and Warren Morrison that I work with, and he knows the family. We were just talking about how nice all the Hawkins family is.
I married into a wonderful family. I could not have asked for a better family to marry into and get to be a part of. And I'm so thankful we got to be there whenever they named the field after Ernest. And he got to be there and see that and be a part of that and know that. And it means so much that the college did that while he was still alive, because so many people don't get to see that.
Well, that's the thing around here. I got stories behind all these fields.
Yes.
There's Kevin Kuiper Stadium at Bowles. Well, that was named for a young man who had a car accident. Is no longer
I didn't know
with us.
that.
Cotton Ford Stadium was named after he had passed. Ed Locker Stadium was named for Ed Locker while he was still with us over in Cattle Mills. But a lot of these stadiums around here, it was after they passed. I think it was great that Coach Hawkins was there to see the unveiling and his name up there, but he also celebrated with them when they won that last national championship.
He did. We all got together and watched it at his daughter's house with him. It was so much fun, and he wanted that for the team. He wanted that.
And you saw at the home games who led them when the roll is called out yonder. It was Coach Hawkins.
Yes.
And you know the story about that?
Share the story.
East Texas State was playing Abilene Christian. And I think it was at Abilene, and they didn't have a very thick wall between the dressing rooms. And Abilene won one year, and they were singing that hymn. So the next time East Texas State beat Abilene, they made sure to sing that song so that Wildcats could hear it. And from then on, they decided they're going to do that after every victory. And I think it's every game.
I think it was every game, too. But yes. And that's always been really special that they all get together and do that.
But I was just so impressed that Kobe Carthel, who's head coach then, he's now at Stephen F., was appreciative of the heritage of A&M Commerce and brought Coach Hawkins to lead them in that. And it is tying the past with the present. Tradition is everything.
It really is. I love that about this part of our country, of this part of Texas too. And I think Texas in general is this way. We care about our traditions.
Tradition, we were talking about Texas Tech. What about the Aggies in
Right.
University of Texas? The tradition goes a long way. In high schools, you see these teams that are winning now. They won when their fathers played, and they won when their grandfathers played. And that tradition is getting to the top of the mountain is the hard part. It's hard to stay there, but in high school, getting there is everything.
It is. But having those role models before you, that go before you and blaze that trail and show you the way, and then you can start out kind of a step ahead, and not make the same mistakes.
After the game, the father can come to his son and say, I would have done it this way. And the sons, and a lot of these kids, they grow up watching their older brother and sisters win, and it's, I want to be like them. I want to win a championship like they did.
Right. It inspires them.
It inspires them
to do that. So, I know you have so much history and statistics in your mind. Who are some of players maybe over the last 43 years that you've followed along that are from Greenville that have gone on to do other things that you've enjoyed following later in life?
Well, Henry Neal, people are going to laugh because I talk about him a lot, but he broke the national high school record in 100-meter dash.
Yes.
He won state in the 200. He won state in the triple jump. He was an amazing athlete. Well, his son, Cameron Neal, was running the football this year for the Greenville Lions.
Really? How cool is that?
And I went to a game at Crandall, and I hadn't been there but twice in my life. You got to get the map out to find Crandall.
Right.
and I parked my car, and I hear this, there's David Claybourn. And I look, and it's Henry with his ex-wife, Camille. They went to see Cameron play, and they parked right next to me.
Oh, how fun. What a small world.
What a small world. But Henry, he ran for Blinn College and won the 8 national junior college titles. And then he ran on the pro indoor circuit and won 8 indoor races, including the Wanamaker games, at the Melrose games, at Madison Square Garden. He was a big deal. And he almost played in the NFL. He had a little stint in the NFL, but decided to concentrate on track and field. But he would have been the fastest player in the NFL. He was very fast.
For sure. He was so fast. Yes. Who are some of the other players you followed?
Well, here's one now. I saw Mike Thomas play. He's probably the best running back to ever come out of Greenville. He made All-American in high school. His first carry for Oklahoma Sooners, he went 90 yards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he wasn't getting a lot of playing time, so he transferred to Nevada, Las Vegas. He had 1,700-yard rushing games in Nevada, Las Vegas. Made Little All-American, first-team running back. The second-team running back was Walter Payton.
Oh, wow.
Everybody that's followed.
Yeah,
he was considered one of the best in the NFL. Well, Mike was listed ahead of Walter Payton. But the neat part of Mike is his son, Spencer Gilbert, came along and played here and watched him play. Spencer's the head football coach at Dallas Carter. They made the playoffs. Spencer was just named Coach of the Week in 4A a couple of weeks ago. Spencer Gilbert II, Spencer's son, is a coach now at Greenville High School, helps with soccer and junior high football, and he played football at Angelo State.
Oh, wow. So which sport is your favorite?
I'm an old track guy.
Okay.
And we talked about it. I ran a little bit. I just wasn't fast enough to get a lot of running time in meets because my team was so competitive. But I love track and field, and I admire anybody who's faster than I am. Well, that's a whole lot of people.
I don't know. You were giving me your numbers earlier. Those were pretty good.
Well, for an old man. I've actually been to 45 state track meets.
Really?
45. I've watched probably about 18 national high school records, and it's just a lot of fun. And you see some of these people end up that I watch at the state track meet end up winning Olympic gold.
Oh, man.
Michael Johnson, I saw him run. Joe DeLoach, I saw him run. Jeremy Warner, I saw him run. All these people, there's one now named Shakari Richardson that's doing well. I saw her run when she was in high school.
Oh, wow. You get on fire talking about all this. You have such a passion for sports and for these kids and for what they achieve. Where did you get that? Where does that come from? I mean, I know it was from your family, but you have your own passion for it. It's not just because of the
It's the love
lineage.
of the sport, and like I said, appreciate anybody who's better at it than I am, which means pretty much all of them. They say with sports writers, the ones that can compete in sports, the ones that can't write about it.
There you go. What's been the hardest part about being a sports editor?
You can't get to everything you'd like to. And I'll go to a ball game and somebody will say, well, you should have been here last week or last game. I wish I could be everywhere. And there'll be 14 games or 12 games, and I have to pick one.
Right.
But I generally stay with the Lions and the Eagles. But last week I got to see Celeste. Last year, because of the staggered start caused by the COVID-19, the 6As and 5As started a month later than the 4As, 3As, 2As, and all those.
Okay.
So I got to go see Quinlan Ford Panthers and Cattle Mills Foxes a number of times, and I really enjoyed
How
that.
fun. They've been doing great.
Quinlan Ford is leading the nation
Yes.
in rushing.
Isn't that crazy?
And when I say nation, it's not just high schools.
Really?
They've run for more yards per game. They're running about 512 yards per game, 512 yards
Wow.
per game. That's not just one game. That's better than any NFL team, any NCAA Division I, II, and III, better than any junior college team. They're running for more yards per game than any team anywhere. And anytime I put something online about it, we get a lot of hits because people are keeping up with it.
I bet. That is impressive and incredible. How are they doing that?
They don't throw the ball. The last game, they threw it once. The game before that, they threw it twice.
Really?
What Coach Wallace told me in a story, when it's 3rd and 9, most teams around here throw.
Right.
NFL, they throw it.
Right.
They run it. And he says, we look at it as a 4-down territory anyway. If we go 8 yards, then it's 4th and 1, we're going to run it, and we think we're going to get the first down. So 3rd and 9, they run the ball. They just run it all the time.
They just run it.
And they've got 3 really good backs to run the ball. Jaddonovan Williams, running back, he's over 2,000 yards. They got Caden Roden, he's got 1,800 yards. The quarterback, Rowdy Rowan, has 1,400 yards. And that's, when you have 1,000-yard rusher in the backfield, that's amazing. They got 3. And they're fixing to have maybe 3 2,000-yard rushers.
Really? So we need to keep our eye on them for the next
Keep your eye
several
on
years.
them.
That's really cool. And they're from Hunt County.
Hunt County.
I love that.
I make a big deal about Hunt County.
Yes, and we should.
We should.
That's why we do this show, Heart of Greenville, because we have such a great community and there's so many wonderful stories just like that one that are from people that are from this area that are just giving back so much, which is a great transition for us to talk about what you love about Greenville, David.
Well, like I said, the proximity to Dallas, but the people here. Greenville people, it takes a while for them to accept you. I went through that transition period, but now I feel like I'm one of them.
I was going to say, do you feel welcome now, David?
I feel very welcome. They're like anywhere else. They're guarded at first. They kind of look at you like, what's this guy all about?
Right.
Well, now they know who I am, and anybody sat down and talked to me, I'll talk to anybody.
I can't imagine you ever meeting a stranger.
My gift for gab pays off. You got to hear this story. I'm at the basketball game 2 years ago, and I like to gab with the fans and the students sometimes, and one of them says, Deion Sanders is here. I said, at the basketball game? Well, I had a roster for Rockwall Heath, and I pull it out. Look, there's a Shalomi Sanders. And so I asked the young man, is that his daughter? He said, yes. Oh, he's here to see his daughter. So I start looking up there, and I went over that side and took a photo. Then one of the parents, he says, well, not only is he here, there's a very wealthy man here. I said, whoa, who would that be? Well, through process of elimination and exploration, it was Jay Prince. He's a record company mogul out of Houston, and he was the manager for Floyd Mayweather, the boxer.
Really?
And he had 2 big bodyguards with him. And the reason why is the bodyguards were between Deion and his ex-wife, Pilar. She was there. And the most amazing photo, I got a photo of Deion, Pilar, Jay Prince, the 2 bodyguards, and Shalomi guarding Macy Williams, the homecoming queen of the Lady Lions.
How fun is that?
And that was one of the most memorable photos. I had more fun just looking at that and figuring out who were all these people.
Yeah. And you had your camera so you could kind of do that.
Well, I was hoping to get a photo of Dion with his daughter after a game, but about 3 minutes left, he took off.
Oh, he left early.
I
bet that's probably best for him.
He's going through a health issue.
Oh, is he?
And his Jackson State team has been doing real well, but they got in a big fight. But the last photo I saw of him, he's in a wheelchair.
Really?
He had foot surgery, and then they said he had some kind of illness. I want to see Dion back. He was such an exciting player for the Cowboys.
Oh, he was. Yes. I loved it just for the entertainment because you never knew what he was going to do next.
He was, in my mind, he was one of the best cornerbacks in NFL history. A lot of players get interceptions. He didn't get a lot of interceptions because they never would throw his way because he was so good. He's what's called a shutdown corner. He would shut down the receiver, so they wouldn't throw it in his direction. That's the cornerback I want, is a guy that allows no completions.
Right.
Because some of these guys will pick off a pass, the next time they give up a touchdown pass.
Next time. Yes. Okay, David, when you need to step away from all of this, where do you like to go in Greenville?
Where do I like to go? I'm kind of a homebody. But I do enjoy going to the sports park. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when I have a free time, I used to, when they had the YMCA, I would go take in a ball game for fun. And I went one time, and somebody hit a foul ball, took one hop and hit me right in the face. Like, maybe I need to do something else.
That's so funny. For your relaxing time, you would go to a ball game.
I have this tradition. Whenever I go on vacation, it rains.
Really?
Wherever I go,
you are?
Wherever I am. I started vacation one year, and at 12:01, I'm going to Walmart to stock up on supplies for my vacation. I get hit in the face by a raindrop. I said, yeah, I'm on vacation.
Yes.
I've been to Big Bend. It rained while I was there. I've been to Colorado. It rained every day I was there. I've been all kinds of places, and people would say, it hadn't rained for months. Well, they need to invite me on vacation. Well, Corpus Christi was the last time I was there. It rained during the concert. I was watching the band Weezer and Panic at the Disco. It comes a flood during it. It was an outdoor concert, of course.
Of course. Oh my goodness. So what? Let's see. What are maybe some of your favorite restaurants here, or some of the past restaurants that were here that you enjoyed going to that aren't here anymore?
Can I name names?
Yes.
Well, I love the spare rib that's not there anymore. Dewey Fitzpatrick.
Yes. Oh, they had the best barbecue, and their fries, their French fries, they were like little spirals.
And they had a portrait by the cash register of Marcus Haynes of the Harlem Globetrotters. Oh. One time I said, what's that photo? Dewey's daughter Ann was married to Abner Haynes, the son of Marcus Haynes, the Globetrotter.
Really?
That's how I figured that out.
Okay. Just asked a simple question.
I like Ying Jing Restaurant.
Yes.
Was so did Mick Jagger and Jerry Hall.
Really?
Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stone, visited there one time to eat. And the reason being is Jerry had a 9-bedroom house between Lone Oak and Miller Grove.
Really?
And she would do her accounting work here and would come to Greenville for different visits. And sometimes would be in a white limo. And I was always wanting to do a story or a photo. Mm-hmm. And I was always one day late. Oh. Somebody would say they were here.
They were here yesterday.
But we actually, Stan Golightly, former photographer, got a photo of Mick standing in front of a jet at Majors Field.
Really?
And Mick says, I don't believe we have an appointment. And Jerry says, oh, it's the Greenville Herald-Banner. Let him get a photo. She knew our name.
Oh, that's so special.
Yeah. Well, she's
really cool.
Media savvy. Do you know who she's married to now?
No.
Rupert Murdoch.
Oh.
The media mogul that owns Fox.
Oh.
Owns all these newspapers.
Really?
Yeah, so she's media savvy.
Yeah, I would say so. Wow. Man, you have so many cool stories. David, we could talk forever, but I'm going to wrap us up, and I'm going to ask you your final question. So I need you to pick a number between 1 and 20.
20.
20. Okay. What is the smartest thing you have ever done?
Sitting here.
David. You got to give me another answer.
Getting into the media. Oh,
smartest
I
thing.
got to wrap this up real fast. I took broadcast classes at Texas State, and the broadcast instructor was really good, and he had some very successful students. And he said, David, you can write circles around Bill. I won't mention his last name, but your voice is dead meat. Stick to print journalism. So that's the smartest thing I did was stick to print journalism.
Well, I would say it's worked out well, and it's definitely been it's something special for our community. So thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for your time and dedication to our community for 43 years of giving back to us. And that means so much to me personally and to our community.
I was brought up with manners, and I respond to compliments, and don't we all?
Yes, we all should, for sure. Thank you so much, David. I've enjoyed sitting down with you today. I've enjoyed your stories. Thank you for all that you do for our community, and I look forward to seeing you around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Heart of Greenville. This video series, which is designed to celebrate Greenville, Texas, is spearheaded by REMAX 3D Real Estate.